So this is the part 2 to the People Tease Me and It Hurts video. Go watch that one first. So continuing the story, I was at the party, I was at my siblings' birthday party just yesterday, and people forgot I existed, so they already cut the cake. They were already eating it. They were already having a good time, and I'm pretty sure they were about to do presents without me. And I'm going to tell you a little backstory. So, when I was little, I've always had anxiety. I think it's clinical, because I've just had it for no reason. When I was really little, I would make up excuses. I would pretend that I had this reason, that I wanted this, and I made up these, like, I found my happy place, and it accidentally turned into my sad place, because my anxiety caught up with it. But I always felt excluded, and I was always excluded from the older kids who I wanted to hang out with. So whenever I was hanging out with anyone at a party, whenever I was really at a party, I would always be that little kid in the corner who's just kind of on her phone or just reading a book or doodling or something. I was just kind of sitting there sad, thinking that no one's really acknowledging me, and when you're really little, you need attention. So the fact that I purposefully, because I just thought it was how it worked. I just thought it was how it worked with me. I would always purposefully put myself in a corner thinking no one was going to come to me and find me. One time I was at one of my cousin's parties, and an adult came in and said, "Hey, where you been? I didn't even know you existed." And I told her all of this, how I felt like I was excluded, so I excluded myself. And she said, "Well, if you hide in the corner on purpose, then of course no one's gonna notice you. Because, duh." So that made me hate myself even more, obviously. But eventually I stopped excluding myself from parties. I just kind of naturally fell into the corner. But this time I didn't seek attention. I was just kind of sad and in the corner and on my own. I got used to being on my own, and now I love it. It's just how it works. I love being on my own. I can open up my imagination. I can open up myself in a way that nobody has to hurt me and nobody can tease me or make fun of me for it. Which, in my last video, was a lot of what I mentioned. So, feeling excluded from my own sister's birthday party in my own house, it hurt a lot. I came full circle, basically, with this yesterday, with this whole getting excluded from parties thing. Because I always excluded, unless it was, like, my birthday, or it was Christmas or something like that. Unless it was my birthday, I would always exclude myself from parties. And during my birthday, usually it would end up with me and a couple of my friends just going to a private room and just having fun and talking. On my 13th, it was me and most of the people who were invited, which is just a bunch of teenage weirdos. We were all gay, so it was fine. We all had a lot of fun, and they all traumatized me with Truth or Dare. Don't ask. I'll probably make one about Truth or Dare later. So we all just had a really good time, and I didn't feel excluded anymore. That was actually the same birthday party. That was the same party where I met Harry. He was the one in the corner, and my instinct was to go over and acknowledge him. Because it's just how it works. That's just naturally me. That's just where I live, is in the dark corner. So, back to the present. I was excluded by someone else. My sister growled at me, the birthday person. She growled at me, like, literally just growled at me and made this face like, "I do not want you here." And my first thought was, I want to make you happy. It's your birthday. I will exclude myself. I went up to my room. Nobody noticed I left. And I almost cried. But instead, I called a friend to distract me from all of the whole birthday thing, and we talked for 2 hours, it was really fun. It wasn't hairy, but it was really fun just talking to a friend, just being with someone who acknowledges me and who makes me feel better about myself. So, yeah. Now, about twice, they all, like, called me downstairs, and so I was like, what do you want? I thought I was being excluded from this party. I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I was thinking. And so they were doing presents, and so let me tell you. My sibling really loves 2 things: Invader Zim and hedgehogs. I wasn't going to get her an Invader Zim hedgehog thing. That'd be cool, though. So I gave her, one time we were at San Diego Zoo. We're going a few months in the past. We were at the San Diego Zoo, and we were allowed to get one souvenir. I've always wanted to get a plushie. I usually always get either a bracelet or a plushie as my souvenir. So then I came across hedgehogs, and I was like, this would be a perfect gift for my sibling. So I told my mom, and just yesterday we were about to wrap gifts for my sibling, and we couldn't find the hedgehog. My grandma didn't have it, my mom didn't have it, my older siblings didn't have it. It wasn't given to me. I gave it to, my mom told me to give it to her and that she'd handle it. So she put it in a purse and we went on with our day. So we couldn't find it anywhere. And so my mom said, well, I'm getting her 2 presents. Do you want one to be from you? Which meant, do you want me to say that this one is from you when it really wasn't? I didn't even know what the frick it was. So I said yes, and so, back into the present, the sibling was opening their presents, and I was on the edge of the stairs. I wasn't gonna fall off, don't worry, on purpose. So, she opened the present that was, quote-unquote, from me, and she really appreciated it, so that felt really empty and sad. I'm sorry, I really had to get this stuff out. I've always felt excluded, and I've always felt really horrible about myself, because that's just naturally how I was, grown to be. People always excluded me, so I started excluding myself, and then I realized what I was doing to myself, but at that point it was too late, and I was already naturally hating on myself. So, one time, when I finally tried to be part of the party, they all told me to leave. They didn't even notice I was there, which is kind of what I always knew, but it still really hurts. And yes, I've been crying this whole time. So, yeah.